Shalom Israel. Real quick video. Yashala giving all praises to Yahweh. Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba Hashem, Rakakadash, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostle, elder bishops, great millstone. Most salutations to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect, soon to be elect, most high will. To the hopeful extended elect, Shalom blessings. Just getting right into a quick video. And, starting with what you see on the screen. It was posted up by Saints of Jersey too. Yahweh Shai, Yahweh, basically Yahweh Shai from right to left. And they got a term called crazy work, like it's either in a good term or a bad term. In this case, a bad term. And it says 144 views. Well, 4441, but you flip it 144. So we speculate and look at everything. But he kind of reminds me of GRLA Hebrew. Back in the day he's threatened GMS before. He got involved with gang members and all that. Polite did the same thing before he went to jail. Shot up the Bible and everything. Polite, The Most High takes these demons down, Kind of reminds me of the Accuser of our brethren, which is Esau, but our people go out of the way like Esau too, out of the way like Cain too. Revelations 12:10, it says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed, Yahweh Shai." It says, "For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before the Most High day and night." And, it's kind of crazy that a lot of these men, and not only this dude, but like a lot of other dudes that fall out, even coming from, so to speak, GMS, under GMS, they tend to blame GMS. When they go out and they can be independent, some rise to certain levels of power and independent and have nothing to do with GMS, slander and everything. And then at the end, when they downfall, it's like it's back to GMS. It's like, yeah, well, we got everything from y'all. We got taught this, and this is why we're this way. And GMS teaches nothing according to what they have come to be in the sight of the public. All that, trying to put Apostle Rakah and Gabar, all the apostles on the spot, all the elders on the spot is bogus. Because even with the women's situation where, they yell out, well, they teach us to beat our women and be cruel to our women. We learn from them. And GMS has no cases of beating women, has no history of raping women. It's a figure of speech, just like when we say things that it's supposed to be exercised in America is not expedient, and we can't exercise because we don't have power to. So it says, "Be wise among them that are without, be angry and sin not." So why would we do those things, man? And it says not to be a lion. We also teach not to be a lion in your house, in your household, with your wife and children. It says, "What man hated his own flesh?" So that's bogus. That's way out of pocket. And it's just these things of bitterness and emotions, because a lot of women do this, especially just on a common ground to where they accuse the man of everything. Well, you're the one that's a man. They want to be independent. And we use the women as an example, because we're a woman to the Most High. So we examine ourselves. we examine ourselves too. It's not we just on the outside looking in. We're actually in. Also, we're in and out the matrix. We know how and we examine ourselves as such. So, a woman blaming a man like, yeah, it's all your fault. You a man. It's all the fault. Why I can't pay bills. Women are bitter to this day, thinking that, you know, even with society, when society breaks down, see, men running the world. If it was ran by women, we'd have it. No, you wouldn't. And that's what a lot of these, men do. They think they can run Israel and be a guide to Israel and then get caught up in lust, fame, pride, and they think it's nothing. The Most High said, pride coming before destruction. You'll get taken down. So I believe that these people don't really believe in the scriptures. They don't believe in the Most High. Because they wouldn't have an audience to where they lead them astray like this in this fashion. Over what do they call it? It's a word for it. Exploiting the truth, exploiting the true men of the truth, and good instructions and that creates good works of men, good character that shape the character of good men, and that's all I've experienced with GMS. And as personal men, we all have flaws, you know. He would have been best me in saying that was a flaw. I'm back on I'm tripping. I'm back on my stuff. I'm falling in line now. As these women are at the back end, I mean, you would think they would be pointing out their wives more than anything, because that's what the opposite is showing with them being exposed. But in any case, it says that men have gone out to establish their own righteousness. And there's a way that seem right to a man. Romans 10:3, for they being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves into the righteousness of the Most High. Yahweh Yahushai. Now, a lot of these people know they're doing wrong. They like calling out, anything but Yahweh Yahushai. They know they're going off. Not concerning this dude, because I think they still believed in the name. But other camps and men, they didn't teach the name. They didn't teach their family the name. They taught, Jesus. But we've taught about camps taking bags, leaders taking bags. Leaders that have once taught the name and not anymore. Change of heart, which it says not to follow. We know that, and people from the old school are more learned on this. A lot of these new guys, especially these young new guys, they don't really know, their extensive knowledge of going back to the old school, how things were done, carried out, how things were more, I wouldn't say it's not longer like that, but, over time you become more exercised, you become more wise and knowledgeable. That's what anything. That's what any man and woman and child. So, there is a structure that the Most High set up, and it's a righteous structure, to lead, because it talks about that. It says, be followers of them through follows them that through faith receive. I'm paraphrasing. Receive the promises. Um, and it says, "How can men learn lest they be taught?" So you have to have some structure of a teacher being taught, and whoever learns this truth and comes into the body of this truth and start teaching this truth, they know where this truth came from, man. They should know. Um, so, you have teachers. That's like you being in the martial arts and you learn from a martial arts master, and through your years, you didn't kick a lot of ass. You didn't, through 10 years of your life, you didn't kick ass. You never lost a fight when you were under his, guide and being learned, and you grew, and you developed some things yourself, your moves, but you got your knowledge and your learning from him, and you've been kicking much ass. And then when you get fat and sloppy and you fall off and get drunk and get arrested, and you're no longer on your square, so to speak, then you're gonna be like, yeah, well, how can you talk about your teacher? You were doing better when you were under him. Just like during the time of Moses, when they were beside themselves, speaking evil, talking about but that was the evil way of they were thinking. Since we left the Queen of Heaven and we start following you, no good has come to. That's bitter ass, emotional ass Israelites. Just like coming into the truth, man. I ain't got no family no more. I lost my wife. We no longer together. She filed divorce, and I'm going through it, man. I don't really have the best jobs no more. I lost my car and all that, and they blame it on the truth. Really, they blame it on the Most High, because that's where the truth comes from. Really, when they blame the men of the Lord, that's where they blame the Most High, because that's who the men set up by. So you gotta look at these things, examine these things, and like, man, nah, man, that ain't making no sense, man. These are bitter ass men that have the emotions and the mind likened to women, because they're bitter and they hurt. And when a woman is bitter, let's say she break up with you, and then she does well at first, and then she starts to fail. She'll come to you. She'll be more bitter against you after she done been in a relationship with another man, established with him, but that failed, and then she'll go back to you. Well, bitter against you, and then even having a child with you, she'll be like, you can't see him, because she be like, I'm nobody now, and that you're a part of that whole my whole the whole reason of me not doing well, or not finding a good man, or whatever the case is. They'll blame me for something that happened 20 years ago. Well, you did call me a bitch, and I haven't been right since then. Man, get the hell on with that shit, man. That's bitter for real, man. But during the time, they'll brag and say how they got it going on, they independent, and they don't need a man, and yeah, I've been better since I left you. So that's what these do. That's how the mind state of these dudes work, man. You just be a man and go on with your bullshit life, man. If it's become bullshit, that's what it is. You know? And it's the Most High. Most High is going to destroy these dudes that remain in this mind frame, man. We don't have to do nothing. Most High is going to destroy ninjas like this. Now, if someone have a repentant heart and a sincere heart to return back to the Most High, and this comes from the Bible, it's not coming from me or what a man thinks. This is coming straight from the Bible. You know what it talks about. And like that vocab thing he used to say. Vocab used to say, well, yeah, this is a fallen member of GMS, and he used to mock GMS because of that. if a bad fruit fall, if a bad fruit falls from a tree, but the tree is still strong and bearing good fruit, then that's that bad seed. That's that. I mean, that's that bad. You can't get a seed out of that. But the the main the tree is still bearing forth good fruit for it to grow more. And to be growing more. The seeds to grow still grow prosperous and strong from that tree. So you don't cut the tree down. You sift through. You throw them bad apples away, and you keep eating from that tree. So even vocab is knowledgeable. He think he is. He still says dumbass ish. You know, just like a lot of these people that come against the apostles, elder bishops. And you got to realize that apostles, bishops, and elder bishops are studious men. They examine things, even themselves. So it's like almost what Yahweh Shai said. They accused him of casting out devils. He said, "Well, Satan can't cast out Satan, man." You know, you know, it's if you're a good person wouldn't hurt a good person. A righteous man wouldn't come against a righteous man unless someone's evil. So, only Most High can do that, and it's always a purpose behind that. You know, um, but yeah, I don't want to speak too long on this, man. But yeah, you got to watch for yourself, man. And like some people that spring up all of a sudden that spring up and suddenly and have followers suddenly, that's suspect because we believe in the true process of growth. You get then they become fan and they become like celebrity status. They have fans. They have a lot of women around. They says don't be in the midst of women. Uh, those type of followings, those type of leaders. You know that's why a lot of them are stepping down. You know, uh, even these and it goes with the banner of these churches too. These churches like TD Snakes, he stepped down. Like it's the same fashion, it's the same spirit of these people, these men. You know, like oh y'all got it. The truth, it ain't really even what y'all how y'all really exactly say it, man. Paul was going off this and that. Like, come on, man. That's bitterness, and that's bitterness likened to with how women are bitter against the men. Or authoritative figures. You know, you see Eve. She quickly blamed Satan, but now even then to this day she's blaming men overall because the the say of authority, the say of position that we proclaim. Y'all the ones that's supposed to hold it down. Y'all the ones that's supposed to be the best camp, be the best. And then look at me, I came from y'all. Like, why am I fucked up? Hey, you effed up because of your own self, man. What did it say? They came from out of us, but they were not with us. Part of us paraphrasing. Or you got another one says, men are persuaded by their own minds to go astray. The order is there. The true church and true men are there. But if, somebody decides to separate it, disconnect, that's them. You know? Same thing with the Most High. Like, if Israel don't want to do what the Most High says, you can't blame it on the Most High. Oh, Most High, you know men's heart. You could have steered us and made us continue to make us straight. Adam wouldn't have even went off. If you wanted that, Lord, why didn't you do that? Those are people that's gonna be a part of that lake of fire, man. That judgment, you know. Those are complainers, boasters. You know what it says in scriptures: disobedient to parents, your spiritual parents, high-minded, proud. You know, you know, evil workers. It says all kind of stuff, and murderers, backbiters, you know, and such would not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Anyway, hopefully that's fine. Shalom.